A flight attendant's voice cut sharp through the hushed murmurs of the cabin. "Sir, you need to step off the plane. Now." Row 17 went silent. Passengers froze mid-buckle, mid-text, mid-thought. All eyes turned toward the man in uniform. His shoulders stiff, his boots laced with dust, his gaze lowered but steadied. He didn't speak, he didn't move. Only a quiet tension hung between him and the airline staff, like a rope pulled too tight, ready to snap. The soldier's name was Staff. Sergeant Daniel Rourke. He had just landed from a transport flight overseas, rerouted through civilian airspace. He wasn't flying home for vacation. He was flying to bury his younger brother, a Marine, killed 3 days ago in a roadside ambush. The airline had bumped him from 3 prior flights due to overbooking. Now, even this final seat, his last chance to get to the funeral on time, was being questioned. The attendant shifted uncomfortably. This seat was reserved for a higher-tier passenger. "Hey," murmur rippled. Someone whispered something about upgrades. Someone else rolled their eyes, but Daniel didn't flinch. He just looked down at the photo tucked inside the cover of his travel orders. A picture of his brother, all smile and sunlight, leaning on a tank somewhere in Helmand. Daniel's hand, calloused and scarred, brushed the edge of that picture. Like a prayer. He had promised their mother he'd be there. A man in a business suit leaned into the aisle, scoffing. "This is ridiculous. He's not even flying in uniform properly." Daniel wasn't. His jacket was stuffed into his bag. His boots weren't polished. His face was tired, unshaved. He wore his grief like a second skin. N01 defended him. Not at first. They watched in that awful, collective silence people adopt when they know something's wrong but don't want to get involved. But then, a sound pierced the stillness. It wasn't a shout. It wasn't outraged. It was a baby crying. From the seat behind Daniel, a tiny voice wailed out. Sharp, raw, unstoppable. The child, not even a year old, was squirming in her mother's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Her mother tried to hush her, bouncing her gently, but the child kept reaching. Not for the bottle, not for a toy. For Daniel. Tiny fingers stretched toward the back of his seat. Then the woman said something no one expected. "She never cries when he's near. Please let him stay. She feels safe with him." People began turning their heads. That one sentence cracked something open. A woman 3 rows up stood and spoke, carefully but firmly. "He's a soldier. He shouldn't have to explain why he needs to get home." Then an older man, quiet until now, raised his voice just enough to carry. "My brother never made it back. If someone had stopped him from getting to our mother's funeral, I'd never have forgiven them." The attendant hesitated. Did the gate agent now standing near the cockpit, radio in hand. Then, a ripple of motion. One by one, passengers began to stand. "Not all. Just enough. We'll wait," someone said. "Let him sit," said another. Even the man in the business suit, now visibly uncomfortable, shifted in his seat and muttered, "Let it go already." Daniel hadn't said a word, but in silence, he had moved hearts. Without protest, without anger, he had revealed the weight he carried. The pain, the duty, the promise. And somehow, a baby felt what others ignored. A baby cried out what adults had forgotten. The instinct to protect those who protect us. Finally, the attendant stepped back. The captain exited the cockpit and walked down the aisle. He stopped by Daniel's seat and offered a nod, not one of authority, but of respect. "Stay seated, Sergeant," he said quietly. "We'll take off shortly." Daniel gave a small nod. He didn't cry. He didn't smile. He simply placed the photo back into his orders and leaned back in his seat, eyes closed, jaw set. Some heroes speak with medals, others with silence, and sometimes the loudest truths are carried in the cry of a child. Honor doesn't need permission. It just needs to be remembered. You never know whose heart you carry with your silence. As the plane ascended, clouds brushing against the windows like whispers from above, Daniel pressed his fingers gently to his chest pocket. He was going home, not just to mourn a brother, but to keep a promise. If this story moved you, take a moment to reflect. Where are you watching from? Have you ever seen silent strength change everything? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more true stories that honor the quiet courage in us all.